Get ready. They're coming.
The following program Out of the Question is classified M. It may contain some coarse language and sexual references. Channel 7 recommends viewing by mature audiences.
Welcome to Out of the Question, the show that tackles more curly ones than Andrew Simons. Thank you very much. Would you welcome our players for this evening? He's wearing glasses, but he's not going to be making a spectacle of himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Moclair.
I shouldn't be applauding myself. I'm sorry.
He was once described by Prince Charles as being funny, but also a little bit weird. It's Danny Bhoy, ladies and gentlemen. It's her birthday, so we're going to have to let her win. Ladies and gentlemen, Fifi Box. Happy birthday, Fifi.
Thank you.
That makes you a, what's that sign?
I'm a Piscean.
Piscean. Mm-hmm. My birthday, 30th of December.
You're a Capricorn.
I am.
What a loser. No, seriously, being born like the day before New Year's.
I know, no one remembers. Me and Jesus Christ, when we get together, we're both going, how are the birthdays? Shit house. And Danny, I wanted to ask you, in the intro I said you were...
I did the Royal Variety Show, and it was the Sunday after Prince Charles. There was stories about him allegedly getting, shall we say, serviced by a manservant. And do you remember that? I think it broke here first, because you love the Royals. Yeah. And basically, I went on for the rehearsal of the Royal Variety Show, and I said, it's lovely to be here, because there was all the technical people there and stuff. And I said, it's lovely to be at the Royal Variety Show. I'm looking forward to a bit at the end, where we all line up and get to shake the hand of Prince Charles. I'll probably shake his hand, probably won't go for the bow.
And it didn't go down too well?
No, I nearly got pulled from the whole event. But that might be why he described me as weird, but I'm guessing there was other adjectives as well in that with him.
Well, I guess to him, anybody who's weird whose parents aren't related. Kind of the finest traditions of the royal family.
First question to you.
Yeah,
Danny.
Why not?
Okay, here we go. True or false?
Yeah.
Nice way to start.
Excellent.
Prince
My favourite.
Harry's nickname amongst army buddies in Afghanistan when he was there was...
King Bhoy adopted son.
Prince Harry's nickname amongst army buddies in Afghanistan was Bullet Magnet.
Before I answer that, can I just say I was as intrigued as most by this week's story of Prince Harry coming back, and of course it was big news back home.
Yes.
Soldier goes to war.
Yes.
Up there with man leaves work. And dog likes bone. And actually, the only reason that people got very annoyed by it back home, this story, was because it broke in a woman's magazine. I don't know.
One of those, yeah.
No, but it broke in a woman's magazine, which got to be quite insulting to serious journalists to read, how to get your hair 7 times shinier. Oh, and by the way, the prince, he's in Afghanistan. The answer is almost certainly true.
Is the correct answer. Well done, well done. Yes, it was. It was, in fact, a Bullet Magnet and also Budgie, because he was seen flapping his arms around like a budgie on his first day of service, so there you go.
I hear when he returned to the RAF base in London, Prince Charles was there to meet him, and Prince William. No sign of his dad, though. Come on! We all know!
Birthday girl, Fifi. Andrew Simons, it's a cricket question. You okay with that?
Degree of difficulty.
Andrew Simons flattened an on-field streaker at the one-day final this week.
Yes, he did. I saw it.
It was a good hit, wasn't it? What was the only thing the streaker was wearing? Socks, a beanie, or a wristband?
I saw on the news just Simon's giving him a bit of bang and a hard bang, but I missed, all I could see was the streakers.
And the answer is?
I'm going to say wristband.
Is the correct answer, yes.
Simons was very annoyed about the whole thing because it was nearly the end of the over. the streaker's running towards him, and all of a sudden he has to face another 2 balls. So, I mean...
There's the wristband there. You can see it on his right hand.
Beautiful.
And
It looked like he just escaped from a float at Mardi Gras.
very true. There you go. This is Tony.
All right.
What have Brendan Nelson and this television network got in common?
The number 7.
Is it, and why?
Well, Brendan Nelson's approval rating announced this week was 7%.
And this is the 7 Network.
Oh, right.
Everybody's on one. There you go. We're having fun.
Excellent.
There you go. A global survey, Danny,
Yes.
has found that Australia is amongst the world's most undersexed nations.
Right.
But which country has the least amount of sex? Is it Germany, Japan, or Brazil?
No, it's certainly not Brazil. Jesus. Those guys are acting like rabbits. I will say Brazilian rabbits. I'm not a racist.
Brazilian rabbit just has one strip of hair down the back.
Down the back. No, it has one hair down the back.
I'll give him a point. That was very good. Yes.
Yeah, thank
good
you.
It's
work.
always good to see that.
Yes.
It's always good to
Was
see.
it Germany, Japan, or Brazil?
Probably the Germans. Or the Japanese. Actually, it will be the Japanese. They have a vending machines in Japan where you can actually sort of take out used underwear.
Yes.
Have you read that?
And they never give change.
No. They never get changed, do they?
No.
Yeah. You're going for...
I'm going to go for Japan.
Is the correct answer.
Oh.
Well done. And we've searched the internet for some Japanese people having sex, and let's have a look. There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Special cheer out to all the sumo wrestlers out there.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
Fifi.
Okay.
More than 1 million kids participated in a worldwide online maths test as part of World Maths Day this week.
Did they?
You're worried already, aren't you?
Yes.
Yes. The mathletics. Mathletics? Is that
Good
it?
name.
Can you answer one of the level 5 questions?
Far out. Seriously.
Is this going to worry you?
I'm worried already.
Okay. What is 14 by 7?
When I was doing, junior school maths, your times tables only went to 12. Quite seriously.
Right, yeah. That's right.
Well, when we were at school, they hadn't discovered the number 13.
What is
more than
7 by
12.
10? What is 7?
Obviously 17.
And what is 4 by 7?
Yeah. 28.
Yeah. Add the two
28.
together, you get...
98.
Is the correct answer, yes.
Really difficult when you put under the thumb.
Oh, absolutely. No,
Why
absolutely.
did you do that to me?
Because
That's cool. My name's not on the trophy, and then you did that, and it's my birthday.
Wikipedia co-founder Jim Wales caused controversy this week after apparently using the site to break up with his girlfriend. I want to ask you, as we go to the break, have you ever had a bad breakup? Think about that, and we'll talk about it when we get back. You're watching Out of the Question. Back with more right after this. With Tony Moclair, Danny Bhoy and Fifi Box. And the scores are everybody equal on 2 points. Good work, everybody. Well done. Now,
If you
before the
don't
break...
move for a second, Glenn, your shirt, just see it there, it's just moving up and down on its own accord. Is that just me?
Yes, it is.
It looks like you've got a small puppet shirt. Look at that.
Oh, my God. Oh, there's a little bit of air conditioning under there.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah. Have you ever had a bad breakup?
Glennie, my breakup, actually, I was before his time with the Wikipedia guy because I did a similar breakup. I was in a relationship at the time. Well, I thought it was a relationship. The guy I was in the relationship didn't think it was a relationship. But he had asked to borrow... Long story, but he had asked to borrow $1,000 from me, and we'd only been going out for about 4 or 5 weeks. And I, because I had the faith that he was the one and that this would work out, and of course I'll give you $1,000. Anyway, he dumped me, left me, and but didn't give back the money. So this is the only time a national radio show came in handy. I got on air and I said, if you don't, you know who you are. I'm not about to name you, but if I don't get the $1,000 back by the end of the show, I'm going to put your name and address on our website so people can come and... He rang. He rang quite quickly.
Did you get the $1,000 back?
Not yet, but...
One girl I knew dumped a guy because he did this when they went around the corner in the car. he would go, She dumped him. She dumped him.
Can I just say, I don't so much have clean breaks as compound fractures with girlfriends. But I remember when I was 8, my very first girlfriend, this is true, she split up with me and she said, "You're just too immature."
I was in next door at a friend's place next door, and the kid was there. He was a 6-year-old, and there was a little trike there, and he got on the little bike. He was about 6 or 7, and he is riding around. He was going, "Oh, this is great. I feel like a 4-year-old again." You cannot reminisce when you're 6. No. Tony.
Yes.
Children under the age of 7 are no longer allowed to do what in a car?
Smoke. That's so unfair.
Is it wind down the window, sit in the front seat, or sing?
I reckon it's sit in the front seat.
Is the correct answer.
There we
well
go.
done, yes, yes. No longer allowed to sit in the front seat. Okay. Danny.
Yeah.
Italian courts have just ruled that what good luck tradition is now illegal in public?
In Italy.
In Italy. Italian courts...
Cutting off a horse's head and sticking it in someone else's head. No.
I'll give you some options. Is it blessing themselves?
Yeah.
Is it grabbing their crotch? Is it throwing salt over their shoulder?
It's got to be grabbing your crotch in public.
Is the correct answer. Well done, yes, grabbing your crotch in public.
I had a friend of mine at university who was Italian, his name was Rocco, and he used to...
So,
I don't know what's funny about that, but yeah, clearly there's something happening in the audience I don't know about. Yeah, he used to say that it's this thing in Italy that if a hearse goes by, then you grab your nuts. It's kind of like a way of a send-off. You know, and what better way to say goodbye? Hey, is that your Uncle Tony? Hey, Uncle Tony, who's gonna miss you?
On with the game.
Yes.
Which is costing Australian taxpayers more? Baz Luhrmann's new film Australia, the Formula One Grand Prix, or World Youth Day?
oh, that's a good one. I combine all three and get Formula One to run over a bunch of young Catholics and catch it on film. That would make a pretty interesting film, I think. I think it's World Youth Day.
Is the correct answer. Well done. Yes, that's right. World Youth Day is costing 95 million. The Australian movie is costing 35 and the Grand Prix is costing 30. And World Youth Day is a 6-day event, which is good, I think.
What does it involve?
A couple of old guys dressed up as kids.
We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more of Out of the Question right after this.
Next.
You're watching Out of the Question with Tony Moclair, Danny Bhoy and Fifi Box. Danny, you're not here for the comedy festival. You've been touring around?
Well, I tell you, the funniest flight I ever had, which was, and this is a genuinely true story, I flew from Perth to Kalgoorlie about 2 years ago, and it was obviously Kalgoorlie being a, you know, miners, full of miners and stuff, isn't it? And I was sitting next to this big miner, not a giant child. I mean, like. Is it a big miner, and 10 minutes into the flight, he reached into his bag and he took out a pornographic magazine and started flicking through it. And I started complaining, but, you know, in the classic sort of British fashion, I was going, sorry, sorry. And he went, "Mate, you got a problem?" I said, "Well, yeah, this is quite a busy flight. Don't you think that's a bit rude?" And I swear to God, he thought about it for a minute and went, "Oh, yeah, you're probably right." And then he pushed the porn mag in between us. There you go, mate.
There you go.
Let me know if I'm going too fast for you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah. Danny, which former UK rock star has been announced as the new face of Louis Vuitton?
Well, it's not Amy Winehouse.
No. Do you want some options?
Go on then.
Is it Michael Jackson? No, it gets worse. Paul McCartney?
Right.
Or Keith Richards?
Let me think. Well, it's unlikely to be Paul McCartney.
Yes.
Because he's more of a Calvin Klein man.
Yeah.
It's highly unlikely to be Michael Jackson.
Yes.
Because he's more of a paedophile man. What?
It's all right, you can go back home, do you?
Yes.
We're gonna, you know...
It's
We've
fine.
got the court case.
No, he's not going to. What's he going to sue for? Jesus
Yes.
Christ. He's
And the
just
answer
lost
is
Neverland.
the new face of
The
Lewis
answer is going to have to be the one and only Mr. Keith Richards.
is the
There you
correct
go.
answer. There you go. Let's have a bit of a look at the face of Keith Richards. There you go. Fifi, what did robbers unexpectedly find during an armed hold-up at a New South Wales club? Did they find a police ball, a tiger training event, or a biker convention?
Oh, okay.
Unexpectedly.
Unexpectedly stumbled upon a biker convention.
Is the correct answer. There you go now.
Knew that.
Let's have a look at the footage. We'll see that there's the robbery going on there. Then the bikers find out, and then they come in with chairs and chase them. And look at there, that's going on there. And look at them come through with the chairs. Watch this. Look at that. That's got to be a bad day for a robber, really. Yeah. Shows the wrong place. Tony.
Yes.
True or false? The latest in weather protection is the Newbrella.
Yep.
I'll do that again. True or false? The latest in weather protection, the Newbrella, is a hands-free umbrella. Is that true or false?
Right. I think it's false.
It's in fact true. Let's have a look at the hands-free umbrella. There it is right
Oh,
there.
well, that's just... No, that's a spacesuit.
Yeah.
Looks like she's actually
The,
stuck in the Powerball machine.
A Japanese man who was claiming a pension because he was legally blind
Right.
was caught out when he was hit by a car. How was he discovered?
Dead.
He was behind the wheel of another car. He told the police he'd been run over by a red car.
Right.
He was perving on a lady and he didn't see the car.
Ah, I see. So it's the red car is the thing that gave him.
Is the correct answer. Thank you very much. And a big round of applause for the longest question ever to be had on Out of the Question. Keep that applause, ladies and gentlemen, going. We're going to take a break. Fifi and Tony are on 4 points. Danny's on 5 points. You're watching Out of the Question. Back with more right after this. Welcome back. You're watching Out of the Question. Let's look at those scores one more time. We've got Tony and Fifi on 4 points and Danny on 5 points. 1 point lead coming into the final round, or the round that we like to call the Mark Holden Memorial Round. Nice loading change there. There you go. Okay, here we go. Hands on buzzers. You ready? You going to go the single hand?
I'm not... Oh, yeah, I am.
I'm
I've got
double.
my other hand as I'm being an Italian.
Yeah, you go. What did Wayne Swan admit to doing this week when... Tony.
Smoking the old doobie. Street talk.
Making marijuana is the correct answer. What event did Olivia Newton-John perform at?
At the Mardi Gras.
Is the correct answer. Which tennis...
Yannick Noah. If I get this right, I'm walking.
You know what? That's incorrect.
Yeah.
And I'm going to continue the question for the other two. You
I would
out?
understand.
Yes. Which tennis star cried after being knocked out of the... Tony?
Is it Roger Federer?
Out of the Dubai Championships in the first round, Roger Federer. Which Australian magazine revealed that...
New idea?
Yeah, but Prince Harry was in Afghanistan. New idea, well done. Which famous Bali resident was spotted?
Chappelle Corby.
Is the correct answer. Yes, okay. Round of applause. Spotted in a
You could have
restaurant
just
this
said,
week.
name a Bali resident.
Yeah, that's right.
Chappelle Corby.
What nationality is Pope Benedict XVI? Tony?
He's an Austrian. Or German.
He's
Same
German.
thing.
Yeah, he's
No,
German. Well done.
so, yeah,
Which Melbourne crime
Never
boss?
forget.
70 years ago.
Which Melbourne crime boss, Fifi?
Tony Mockbell.
Which Melbourne crime boss said he won't turn into a rat if extradited to Australia? Is Tony Mockbell. Well done.
Would wear one on his head.
Yes. What is up for auction with Scarlett Johansson on eBay? Fifi.
Another actor. Scarlett Johansson and you know what? It's escaped me. How annoying. Can I have the initials?
Is completely wrong. she's putting up a date on eBay to go to her premiere of a new film.
Yeah.
Which code has Australia's highest paid footballer? Tony.
Stab in the dark here. NRL?
No, it's soccer with John.
Aloisi.
John Aloisi?
What's wrong with that?
Is the correct answer. Well done. Yes. Oh, this is very exciting. Everybody's on 7 points. It's anybody's game. I can't believe I said that.
Right.
What item owned by Heath Ledger was stolen in...
Scarlett Johansson. And put on eBay.
Was stolen this week in Sydney? Tony.
Combi van.
Is the correct answer. Which Australian city is tipped... Danny?
Sydney. Melbourne. Perth. Darwin.
Incorrect, it wasn't. But
Esperance.
which Australian city is tipped to be
Albany.
the largest by two...
Melbourne.
I can't give you that, can I? No, I can't give you that, no. The audience is saying no. There you go. No. Right, to be the largest by 2028 is Melbourne. Okay.
Should have got that as a resident.
The final question. Which Australian Idol judge, Fifi,
Mark Holden.
is the correct answer? Yes. Wow, this is exciting.
This is a tiebreaker.
Danny, you're out of it, I'm sorry, on 7 points.
Oh, no.
Tony and Fifi on 8 points. We have a tiebreaker question.
Tony, you've won it before. Just remember that. Keep that in mind.
Yes. Fifi, it's your birthday. You've never won before.
I
This
know.
is a really big question.
This would be a big moment, Tony, if
Okay.
I won.
Who has offered David Hicks?
Dick Smith.
Is the correct answer? Yeah! Birthday girl has won a Fifi Box, ladies and gentlemen. It's her birthday and she's won the show. Keep that applause going, ladies and gentlemen, for Tony Moclair, ladies and gentlemen, Danny Boy and Fifi Box. There you go. Fifi, a little bit something extra for you as well. It is your birthday. Ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Happy birthday, Fifi. You are the winner. Thank you very much. You have been watching Out of the Question. Everybody wave at that camera there. Happy birthday, Fifi. Thank you very much. Good night. See you later.